Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Walk and Talk with Lamont Carey. And, my co-host today, Gangsta. So, look at this. Beautiful morning. Cold, but beautiful nonetheless. So my co-host got closer, so I'm going to let him say something. Gangster. Sam? So we out here doing our morning walk. And I want to welcome you to our 10th episode with Walk and Talk with Lamont Carey. So today, and thank you for joining in on the new page. It was not actually a new page, but we switched it over so that you can have, or so that people can have unlimited access. So today I wanted to talk about trusting yourself. Like often, well, from time to time now, you hear people talking about trusting themselves. Man, I can't even trust myself. How I'm gonna trust you? And then there are those of us who have gangster, let's go this way. Then there are those of us who have made mistakes, and we begin to question. Once we start repeating those mistakes, we begin to question, like, how I end up in these bad relationships, how I lose another job, why I can't get on time. And one of the ones that I ran into, why this thing ain't moving as fast as I need it to move, why I'm not making the kind of strides that I want to make, why I'm not helping as many people as I can. I've been home all this time. Why haven't I gotten this right? And so I am not one who hasn't questioned myself. And during that time of me questioning myself, I was like, maybe I must not be doing something right. So let me get some people that I respect and let them help me to see if I can move this ball in the direction, or move my life in the direction that I want my life to go. And then I had reached a point where I was running just about everything by somebody. And so it was like I became stagnated in my response time to things that I was supposed to respond to. It ain't always make me late, but I'm one, when I have an idea or I made it a commitment, I tend to jump right on top of whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing. So I get on top of it while my energy is high. So I have experienced where I question myself and sought the input of others. Sometimes it worked out great. Sometimes it didn't. I guess that's just like with anything in life. So I'm wondering, do you trust yourself? And have you ever gone through a period of not trusting yourself? So I want to welcome you again to Walk and Talk with Lamont Carey. And we live, as always, impromptu, with my co-host for today, Gangsta. Out here smelling, pissing. Look at this world out here though, y'all. You see that? Look at that sky. So Uh, do you trust yourself? So one of the things that I learned from that experience or not, well, I don't know if I didn't, well, yeah, I had to not trust myself because I felt that I needed somebody else's opinion on stuff in order to increase the chances of it getting right. But then I was reaching these points where it either was taking too long for me to get the answers, or I gotta wait on them to do something. And sometimes some of the stuff that I needed help on was like tossed back in my face, right? And you know, I don't like that. I don't think none of us like that. And so for a person like me who really didn't trust people, then to surrender myself, well, I ain't surrender myself willingly. I surrendered myself because I wanted to stop making mistakes or minimize how many mistakes that I make. And I know that we all do that or go through that. And then to have others to like toss it back at you, like I helped you with woo woo woo, even though it was true. But I think in the way that it was tossed back made me be like, man, can't leave yourself open for that. And so the topic is, do you trust yourself? And have you ever gone through that period where you didn't trust yourself because of mistakes that you've made? When things don't go your way, you find yourself ending up in bad relationships, bad jobs, or what have you, and then you seek the advice of other people. Now, in no way whatsoever is this episode is about you not trusting nobody, because our life involves other humans, almost 7 billion of them, and there are going to be tons of things that you don't know, that I don't know, that other people 2 cents can add value to it. But one of the biggest things that I learned during those periods of me not trusting myself is that I looked at it in the wrong way. I was like, man, you know, you become so dependent on other people's input that you ain't producing, that you're being stagnated. You know this stuff. You know how to do this. You just got to open yourself up, pace yourself, and stop being so quick. But the main thing I got from those experiences is steady look at them and saying, I'm not trusting nobody no more, keeping people out of my business, because I went through that. Is that I look at it, the lessons that I learned from the mistakes that I made. So, because there's always a lesson if you look or evaluate the experience that you had, because there's always a lesson in there that if you take heed to the lessons and you make certain adjustments, then the next time out you might be more successful. And sometimes it ain't even the next time out. Sometimes it's the 3rd time. Sometimes it's the 4th time. Sometimes it's 10 times. But we don't want to get too ridiculous on keep making the same mistake over and over. But sometimes lessons are harder to learn. Like, I was never like a math student in school, unless I'm counting money. But man, it took me a long time to get math, to understand math, really to even care, because after a while I shut down on it. And I didn't believe in myself on being able to do math. And as I got older, I started realizing how math is so equal to money. And now when you add those formulas and all that stuff, I'm still having some problems. But for the most part, I'm pretty good at math. I still make mistakes in relationships. I mean, this ain't just boyfriend, girlfriend. This is friends, right? But I always try to figure out, how can I be a better friend? How can I be a better me? In order for me to be a better friend, I have to be a better listener. I have to be a better responder. I have to put my emotions to the side and trust that I'm a good dude. At least I believe I'm a good dude. And so if I'm a good dude and I have no ill intent, then I should be able to trust myself in my interactions with people. I should be able to trust myself because I'm not a dumb dude. So I should be able to trust myself in knowing that I can figure some stuff out. Now, again, I can't figure everything out. I can't solve every problem by myself. And there are going to be times when I'm questioning myself. For one, I think you should always question yourself, because if you're not questioning yourself, then to me it's like you're a fool just walking around blinded to everything else that's around you. So, do you trust yourself? And why not? Or if you went through a stage of not trusting yourself, how did you find your way out of that? And what is trusting yourself? What does that actually mean to you? Because I know when I initially started thinking of trusting myself, not trusting myself, I automatically go to the mistakes that I have made, and I don't want to repeat those mistakes again. So for me, when I think of not trusting myself, it's built on that. I remember before I came home from prison. So I have never used drugs or consumed alcohol, right? Ever in my life. Not even a cigarette, not even a beer. But I'm started taking Narcotics Anonymous, Alcohol Anonymous classes in the effort to get certificates so I can try to make early release, right? And in those programs, they was talking about triggers, right? Things that addicts should be mindful of, because it can push them back into their addiction. And so I didn't really think I was going to learn nothing from this class. I was just in there to get the certificate, like I said. But then triggers. I started trying to assess myself, like, what could be my triggers? And I thought that my triggers was expensive cars and trying to dressing, like buying nice clothes, because I like that kind of stuff. And so when I came home from prison, I did none of that. No clothes, no expensive cars. Well, I slipped up. It was a deal that I could not refuse, and ended up buying a BMW. That was the worst experience of my life, and that's probably why it was such a good deal. And so, but why I was worried about it being a trigger is because I thought that it will convince me to go back into like selling drugs, right? And not knowing no better, I believed it, and I wanted this. My goal was to stay out of prison, and so I didn't trust myself when it came to buying like nice clothes that's a little bit pricey, because then the question or the problem becomes, how are you going to maintain that? How are you going to maintain that if you got a regular 9-to-5? But in my case, being an entrepreneur trying to grow a business, how I'm going to maintain a flashy, or well, I was never flashy, nice clothes and this expensive car. Because expensive car, tune-up ain't cheap, right? Even insurance ain't cheap. So I thought those would be my triggers that will propel me back into the life of a drug dealer. And so I didn't trust myself with those things. But now, well, no, I still drive a bucket. Yes, I drive a bucket. I have a, what is it, Chevy Cobalt. My girl gets me everywhere I need to get on time. She ain't the ugly. I mean, she ain't the prettiest, but she sure take care of her old man. So, in the clothes, I'm mediocre. But the biggest thing I learned out of that lesson of not being afraid to buy that kind of stuff, because I thought it was going to trigger the drug dealer in me, I learned that stuff really didn't mean nothing. It didn't define who I was, right? And I could have only learned that by going through that experience. And so I didn't trust myself in that. But not trusting yourself doesn't have to be a bad thing. I think it should force us to evaluate ourselves internally and try to figure out some of these problems. And it's never a bad thing to seek out other people's help, but we shouldn't have to seek out other people's help in every facet of our life. And I've done that. So I've been forced to do it, and then at times I gave it up willingly. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you joining in. I see you tomorrow. And I'm thinking of changing the show, going to Wednesdays and Fridays. So, what I ask of you all the time, right? Comment, share. I hope you enjoy and continue to be your amazing self. You might say that you're imperfect, but somebody in this world, you are beyond beautiful. You are beyond handsome. You are the most spectacular, most perfect person that they have ever met. And so even on your worst day, sometimes we see you in society and we think you're the most beautiful thing that we have ever seen in our life. And when you open your mouth, it confirms it. So let's work on trusting ourselves. And if you don't trust yourself, just look at the lessons you should be learning from that and give yourself a chance, because we give other people a chance all the time. So let's give ourselves a chance. Share this again, comment. See you tomorrow. I'm your friend on Walk and Talk with Lamont Carey and my co-host, Gangsta. We out. Later.